So if I would like to learn any other language, so there are many structures, there are many words of that language. So these structures and words are totally unknown for me. So if I would like to learn these words and structures, it's only possible by my practice. If I practice the same pronunciation every day, if I use the same structure every day, automatically I will be able to learn this structure, I will be able to learn these words. So for example, now if you would like to learn any other language, if you go to that country and if you listen to the speech of any other person and if you try to repeat that expression again and again and again, automatically you will be able to learn it. Okay, so English is a foreign language for us. So if anybody wants to be expert, if anybody wants to be perfect on this language, I think it's only possible by practice. Only practice will help you to remember the structures. Only practice will help you to use the words. Yes. Please. Have you understood? Okay. So there are many other students. They are interested for learning English. So every day I teach them many other words, many other structures. Okay, hello, listen. Some of them use these structures and some of them don't use these structures. So who use these structures? The students who practice more. The students, মানে ছাত্রছাত্রীরা who practice more, যারা বেশি প্র্যাকটিস করে, they can use these structures in their speaking. তারা তাদের স্পিকিং এ এগুলোকে প্রয়োগ করতে পারে। On the other hand, the students who only come and go but don't do practice, they can't apply the structures in their speaking. They don't get any improvement. They don't get any perfection. They don't get any confidence. You know that confidence doesn't come automatically. Confidence comes by your hard labor. Confidence comes by your practice more and more. This is why there is a proverb: practice makes a man perfect. Practice makes a man perfect. So if anybody wants to be perfect in any sector, he or she must need practice. Every day we learn many other words and structures. আমরা যেটা বলতাছি যে প্রতিদিন আমরা অনেক স্ট্রাকচার শিখি, অনেক ওয়ার্ড শিখি, তাই না? এগুলোকে আমাদের দেশের স্ট্রাকচার ওয়ার্ড, এগুলো হচ্ছে একটা ফরেন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজের স্ট্রাকচার এবং ওয়ার্ড। এগুলোকে মনে রাখার একমাত্র উপায়, there is only one way to remember these structures. This is practice. Practice will help you to remember the structures, to apply the structures. When I started the journey for speaking English, at that time I couldn't make any single sentence. But by practicing more and more, now I am able to speak English fluently. So I think it has been possible by my practice. Without practice, it's quite impossible to get, isn't it? Okay. So have you understood something? Okay. So don't you want to say more? Are you bolte chao na? Sir. Okay. Please go to your seat. Now is the time for Siam. Siam asho.
It's not fixed.
Okay, so on average, how much time do you practice?
Sometimes I practice 3 hours.
3 hours?
3 hours and 4 hours. Sometimes I practice 1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour.
Okay. So you practice less than 4 or 5 hours every day,
Yes.
on average. Okay. So I told you at the very beginning that you need to practice more than 5 hours per day for next 3 or 4 months. Okay, so why didn't you follow my suggestion, or why don't you follow my suggestion? Why don't you practice more than 5 hours?
Because sometimes I practice English 5 hours.
5 hours.
Yes.
Also, okay. So how do you practice English? With whom do you practice English? With whom?
Yes.
কার সাথে practice করো? With whom do you practice?
With my father I practice English.
Okay, you practice English with your father and sometimes with your friends also.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you need to say what's the importance of practice in any sector, especially for learning English.
Practice is very important. By learning English.
For learning,
English, we don't get a practice. We don't know how to learn English.
if we don't
get practice,
practice, don't get practice না, প্র্যাকটিস তো পাওয়া যায় না, প্র্যাকটিস যদি না করি if we don't practice, আমরা যদি চর্চা না করি, we won't get improvement. Am I right? Okay. আরো বলো, you need to give some examples. কিছু উদাহরণ দাও। যে কেউ যদি একটা ভালো গান গাইতে চায়, তাকে ওই গানটা বারবার রিহার্সাল করতে হবে, আর মানে হচ্ছে তাকে এটা প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে। কেউ যদি একজন ভালো বক্তা হতে চায় কোনো বিষয়ের উপরে, তাকে ওই জিনিসটা বারবার প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে। কেউ যদি একটা জিনিস ভালো রান্না করতে চায়, তাহলে এটা বেশি বেশি তাকে রান্না করতে হবে। ওকে, এর মানে দাঁড়াচ্ছে প্র্যাকটিস ইজ ইম্পর্টেন্ট ইন এভরি সেক্টর ইন আওয়ার লাইফ। Okay, for example, now I am asking you some questions and you are trying to give the answer. If you face these questions every day, I think that you will get your improvement very much. Okay, so trying again and again, practicing more and more, it will make you perfect, isn't it? Okay, so do you practice any other language?
Yes, sir, I practice any other language.
Okay, which language do you practice?
Hindi.
Hindi. Okay, are you good at speaking Hindi?
So.
Okay, not very much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do you practice Hindi? How do you practice Hindi? কিভাবে হিন্দি প্র্যাকটিস করো বলো?
I say movie.
I watch
Hindi movie,
Yeah.
and I say with my uncles.
I try to speak in Hindi with my uncle. Okay, so do you have
They
much?
live in India.
They live in India. Okay, so do you have much interest for Hindi?
No, sir.
Okay, so what's the importance of Hindi in your life? তোমার জীবনে হিন্দির গুরুত্ব বলো। What's the importance of Hindi in your life?
It isn't very important in my life. When I go to my nearby country, India, then it's helped me.
It will help me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I see that is somewhat good. Okay, so don't you have any attraction for Chinese, Japanese, or Italian, or any other language? Yeah. Okay, so please.
No, sir, I don't like Japanese, Italian language.
Okay, you don't like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have only attraction for English.
English, Bengali, and Hindi.
Okay, so if you can learn English, how will you be benefited in future? What are the benefits of learning English?
English is much important.
Okay, how?
When we get a good job by the power of English.
When we get good job, ভালো চাকরি পাওয়ার পরে দরকার না, পেতে চাইলে। When anybody wants to get a good job,
English is very important.
English is much important. Okay, and only for getting a good job.
No, sir.
It's also important for. It's also important for smart presentation nowadays. Okay, and it's basically important for international communication. And it's also important for operating modern technology. And it's also important for international business. If you would like to do any export or import business, you must know English. Because when you will try to sell any product to other country, or when you will try to collect any product from other country, you must communicate in English. Okay, so don't you think that English is the symbol of smartness?
Yes, sir, I think.
Okay, so yes, I think microphone-টা কি এরকম খেলা করে লেগে দিছিলাম?
না, স্যার।
হ্যাঁ? আনইজি লাগে? এটা তো
আমার হাত ঘামে।
তোমার মাথায় রাখতে হবে, one day I will be an international speaker and I will speak in English in front of thousands people, হাজার হাজার লোকের সামনে, থাউজেন্ডের সাথে এস লাগাই দিলে হবে হাজার হাজার, হান্ড্রেডস মানে শত শত, বুঝতে পারছি? হ্যাঁ, one day you will deliver your lecture in front of thousands people. So if you would like to reach your speech to the last person on the stage, or in that program, so if you speak without microphone, I think that everybody will not listen to you properly. So if you would like to make your speech reach to the last one, I think that you need to speak. You need to use the microphone. Have you understood?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So please make a big hand for him. Okay. So Mona, তুমি আসো। So why don't you become industrious? কেন পরিশ্রমী হও না? Why are you lazy? অলস কেন? Don't you want to be successful? সফল হতে চাও না?
Yes.
Don't you want to be
Person in the
successful?
society.
So as you understand, industry is the key to success. So why don't you become industrious? তাহলে কেন পরিশ্রমী হও না? ভাবতেছো যে আল্লাহ কপালে লিখে রাখলে আমি ইয়া হব, এই সফল হয়ে যাব, তাই না? If success is written on my fortune or on my luck, I will be successful. You think like that? হ্যাঁ, একজন লোকে বলছিল মানে বন্যা হয়েছে, এখন উনি বলতেছে যে ওনাকে আল্লাহ বাঁচাইবো। তো উনি এক পর্যায়ে একবারে মানে ইয়ার উপরে উঠছে, উনি এই যে চালের উপরে উঠছে, তারপরে বলতেছে আল্লাহ বাঁচাবে। তো একজন নৌকা নিয়ে আসছে, বলছে আসেন আপনাকে বাঁচাইতে আসছি, বলছে না আল্লাহ বাঁচাবে। আর একজন হেলিকপ্টার নিয়ে আসছে, বলছে না আমি যাবো না আল্লাহ বাঁচাবে। ঠিক আছে, এর মানে আল্লাহই তো পাঠাইছে একটা উসিলা, কিন্তু উনি ভাবতেছে আল্লাহ নিজে মনে কুলে করে বাঁচাইছে। ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ, তাহলে if someone is thinking that yes I will get success, if Allah wants I will get success, আল্লাহ চাইলে আমি সফল হব, কিন্তু but you need to try, তোমাকে চেষ্টা করতে হবে। Success will not come automatically. Okay, so now please say what's the importance of practice in any sector, especially for learning English? হ্যাঁ, প্র্যাকটিসের গুরুত্ব বলো।
The importance of practice
The importance of practice is much.
is much.
If you would like
If
to,
you would like it to driver, you
if
should
you would like to be a good
good driver.
driver,
You should practice more and
driving more and more.
more.
Okay.
If you should good
If you should, if you want to
if
be,
you want to
hello.
if you want to be good speaker, you should practice more and more.
Okay, so you think that practice is important for every sector. So without practice, is it possible to get your improvement in English?
No.
It's quite impossible. Okay, so how much time do we need practice for getting our improvement?
I think 4 and 5 hours enough.
4 and 5 hours will be enough for
Enough.
someone. Okay, so will you practice 4 or 5 hours from today?
Inshallah.
Okay, so will you try to apply? এটা প্রয়োগ করতে চাইবা কিনা, নাকি ইনশাআল্লাহর মধ্যে থাকবে? Okay, you should try to apply it. Okay, thank you, please. হ্যাঁ, আরো বেশি বেশি প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে। নেক্সট ক্লাসে এই টপিকটার উপরে থাকবে যেন সবাই ভালো বলতে পারি আমরা। ঠিক আছে? ওকে, সো সাথিয়া প্লিজ ওয়েলকাম। হ্যাঁ, প্লিজ লেট হার কাম। ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ, আমরা যেহেতু এখানে অনেকে আছি ব্রাঞ্চের, আজকে আমরা একটা পিকচার নিয়ে সবাই মিলে হ্যালো